Hey guys! In this video, I'm going to start showing you a bunch of chords that you can play on baritone ukulele with just 2 fingers. This is a follow-up to the video I did a few weeks ago about 1-finger chords for baritone ukulele, so make sure you check that out. Today we're going to learn chords like C, G5, A7 sus, and then towards the end we'll get into a finger strengthening exercise. So let's get started. First up, we have a pretty simple C chord. That's 2, 0, 1, 0, or 2nd fret, open, 1st fret, open. I play this chord with my middle finger and pointer finger. You might notice that this chord is very similar to an E minor chord, and the only difference is that we're adding our pointer finger on the 1st fret of the B string. Go ahead and practice playing a C chord and an E minor chord, and just transitioning back and forth without moving your hand very much. All we have to do is add or take away that pointer finger. And it's very common to have a C chord and an E minor next to each other in a song. So let's play through that a few times. Next up, we have the E chord. Now once again, I'm using my middle and my pointer fingers, but now my pointer finger is on the 1st fret of the G string instead of the B string. So that's 2, 1, 0, 0, or 2nd fret, 1st fret, open, open. Now, with one small change, we can make a whole new chord. Instead of playing 2nd, 1st, open, open, I'm going to play 2nd, 2nd, open, open. And that's called an E sus chord. In this case, sus means suspension. So we're taking this chord and suspending one note a half step higher than it is in the E chord. I usually follow a sus chord with its unsus equivalent. So in this case, I would play E sus and resolve to E. Sus, resolve. Sus, resolve. Next, we'll look at A7. You may have noticed that I like to abbreviate by listing the fret numbers from left to right. So this would be 2, 0, 2, 0, or 2nd fret, open, 2nd fret, open. Again, with a small change, we can make this an A7 sus. So we're going to take this note, the 2nd fret of the B string, and raise it a half step by holding down the 3rd fret of the B string. So now we're playing 2, 0, 3, 0. 2nd fret, open, 3rd fret, open. You might notice that I'm keeping my middle finger in place because after my A7 sus, I'm usually going to go back to my A7, and if I keep my middle finger there, I'm already in place for A7, but that's totally optional. So let's practice that A7 sus to A7 a few times. Sus, resolve, sus, resolve. Chords like A7 or dominant 7 chords have sort of a bluesy feel to them, and these are chords that we often use in a blues progression. So let's pair our A7 sus and A7 with a pair of chords we learned in the one-finger chord video, which are E7 sus and E7. We can combine these 4 chords into a bluesy sounding progression that sounds like this. And now we're going to enter the wonderful world of G. Because of the way baritone ukulele is tuned and the way the open strings relate to one another, G is a very comfortable chord on baritone ukulele, and there are a lot of variations on the G chord that are easy for us to reach. So we're going to look at several of those. We already talked about G in the one-finger chord video, but make sure you have this one memorized because it's going to be the basis for the next section of this video. So the G chord is just open, 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 3rd fret. And I like to play this one with my ring finger when possible. The first variation we'll look at is a G5 chord. So I'm going to start with my G chord, and then I'm going to add my middle finger on the 3rd fret of the B string, and it sounds like this. So that's open, open, 3rd fret, 3rd fret. The G5 or open G chord is made up of 2 notes instead of 3. So it's not quite major, not quite minor, it's kind of ambiguous. You can try substituting this anywhere you see a G chord, and I often use it when I'm playing chords and melody at the same time. Next up, we have the G sus chord. Once again, the sus chord means we're going to take one note from the G chord and suspend it a step higher than usual. So we'll start with our G chord, and then we're going to add pointer finger on the 1st fret of the B string. So our note on the B string is suspended a half step higher. You can also play this chord using your pinky on the E string instead of your ring finger. And once again, I usually follow a sus chord with its unsus equivalent. So we'll play G sus, G, G sus, resolve to G. Another beautiful variation on the G chord is a G add 2. That's open, 2nd, open, 3rd. Lastly, we're going to explore some sounds that also make a great finger strengthening exercise. I don't want to get too caught up on chord names here, because I'd love for you to just play through these chords, trust your ear, and listen for which sounds you like the most. So we're going to start with the G5 chord, and for the purposes of this exercise, I'm going to play the chord with my ring and pinky fingers. So open, open, 3rd fret, 3rd fret, and the B string, I'm using my ring finger, E string, I'm using my pinky. After that, I'm going to move down to playing the 2nd fret of the B string with my middle finger. So now it's open, open, 2nd fret, 3rd fret, open, open, middle finger, pinky finger. We'll follow that by moving down to the 1st fret with our pointer finger, which we already learned is a G sus chord. So I'm going to use those 3 chords and then finish with a G chord as a sort of finger strengthening exercise. So I'm going to do 4 strums for each chord, and it'll sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, move, 1, 2, 3, 4, move, 1, 2, 3, 4, then G, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. As we do these walk down exercises, we're only using 2 fingers at a time, but we end up exercising all 4 fingers. At first, that can feel really weird, really challenging, but I promise that with practice, your fingers will grow stronger. Let's try the same thing, but now we're going to hold this 3rd fret of the B string constant. So we start with our G5, and then move down to middle finger on the 2nd fret of the E string. So now it's open, open, 3rd fret, 2nd fret, using my ring and middle fingers. Then once again, we'll move down to pointer on the 1st fret of the E string. Open, open, 3rd fret, 1st fret. So we'll do that same walk down exercise, finishing with an open E string. So it'll sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, move 1, 2, 3, 4, move 1, 2, 3, 4, and open E string. 3, 4 again, G5, 2, 3, 4, move 1, 2, 3, 4, move 1, 2, 3, 4, then the open E string. Okay, my hand is already tired, but I'm going to show you the same concept walking down the D string. So I'm going to hold the 3rd fret of the E string constant, and I'm going to use my pinky finger for this one. Then I'm going to use my ring finger to add the 3rd fret of the D string. So now we're playing 3rd, open, open, 3rd. This one will definitely feel weird at first and take some practice to get used to. After that, we'll move down 1 fret and use our middle finger to hold the 2nd fret of the D string. So now it's 2, 0, 0, 3. Then we'll move down to 1st fret of the D string. So it's 1, 0, 0, 3. And finish off with a regular G chord. So let's give that a try. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, move 1, 2, 3, 4, move 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4, move 1, 2, 3, 4, move 1, 2, 3, 4, then finish with a G. At first, it may be too much to move between the chords that quickly. So feel free to start with your G5, just hold it, listen to it, move 1 finger, hold it, listen to it, move 1 finger, and just move really slowly through these chords as you build up strength in your fingers. Again, this is going to be heavy lifting for our fingers, so don't worry about practicing this more than a minute or 2 each day until your fingers get stronger. And they will get stronger over time. Believe it or not, this video is just part 1. There are so many cool chords you can play on baritone ukulele with just 2 fingers, and I'll share more next time. If you made it this far, let me know in the comments what your favorite chord from today's video was. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to my Patreon patrons, and I'll see you again soon.